Hey, welcome to my journey, my frugal journey. Today we're going to do a subscriber video. If you remember a few weeks ago, I made a video about saving groceries. I said, well, this will be part one, some things that I wrote down. And I said, well, if you have any tips, let me know and I'll do a subscriber video. Boy, did y'all let me know. I got it was 9 pages. All I did was I just copied directly from my comment section and pasted into my word processing program and just printed them all out. So they are in no order other than the order that I saw them, and copied and pasted them. And nobody's is more important than anybody else's. And if there's one that overlaps, into another one, everybody gets their own credit. I didn't go through and try to say, well, this is like that one. I didn't do, oh no, I slipped it out of my chair. I didn't do that. So we'll just do the, down the list of ideas. So now listen, the first one, MJ King 9019. She gave me plenty. This whole first page is hers, and as we get up through here, there's more. Yeah, she was funny. She was just funny talking about she wrote me a book. So I am just going to read to you what the tip is. I'm not going to try to reword it or rephrase it. I'm going to say it as they said it because that's what they meant. So from MJ King 9019, a few things people may not know of or know. Cheese freezes great. If you want to eat it as a stick of cheese, it will be a little more crumbly, but the taste doesn't change. It's still great to melt in any dish or on pizza. I still eat it with crackers, and I don't care if it's crumbly. I have frozen cheese, and I do freeze cheese. A lot of times I'll grate all my, or shred or whatever. I do it on my KitchenAid, on my cheese, and then if I'm not going to use it, I'll bag it in like 1 cup 4-ounce portions and mark it and throw it in the freezer. I have also frozen just a block of cheese, and she's right, it does become crumbly. You can't shred it. It'll just crumble. But you can still use it in casseroles just like it was shredded. I've done it. It works fine. Frozen vegetables and fruits are just as healthy, sometimes healthier than fresh. They last longer and sometimes can end up being cheaper overall for what you are getting. That's right, because they talk about frozen at the peak of freshness. So they pick their produce, they ship it, they freeze it, they ship it, I don't know, but they pick it when it's ripe and ready to freeze. And so even canned, they will take it straight to the processor and get it canned from picking it. So if you check the nutrition facts about frozen vegetables and or canned vegetables, they are a lot of times more nutritious because they've not sat somewhere waiting to be put on the produce shelves. So take that however you want to take that. Egg whites in the cartons also freeze well. I take out of the freezer when I'm running low so it can thaw. I like to use it with eggs to help stretch my eggs. Plus, they're great to add into baked goods in place of eggs. Eggs where I am are insanely expensive compared to before 2020. Gosh. Yes, eggs. Remember, sometime last year when eggs went like exponentially high? Was it the bird flu? You don't never know when that could happen again. It could do to have some egg whites in the freezer just for those occasions. Buying something in bulk isn't always cheaper. Don't just look at the overall price. You really need to break it down to the cost per unit. You sometimes have to do the math to ensure it's cheaper. If it's just a penny or two, you may not mind, but sometimes it can be surprisingly the cost differences. Oh, amen to that. I tell y'all, check your unit price. That's where you're shopping. You're shopping because if it's like I've used the example before, half and half, they all come, well, not all, but the ones I use, 32 ounce cartons, 32-ounce cartons. So I can compare carton to carton and know that I'm getting the right unit price because it's the same amount. But everything's not like that. Like, oh, I don't know, coffee. You got maybe a little thing coffee, a big thing coffee. Compare your ounces, your pounds, your whatever unit that you're trying to work with. Compare those prices. And it is not always cheaper to buy bulk. You can make ground meat stretch. Add in canned or cooked lentils or beans, or even a half a block or whole block of tofu. This is great if you are making burgers, meatballs, or meatloaf. It adds protein. The beans and lentils add fiber, and it stretches the ground meat, which is usually far more expensive than other things. Yes to that. When you can add something to it to get more out of it. Like when I cook my hamburger up with a bunch of onions, it stretches it further. We always make meatballs, hamburgers, or meatloaf by adding an egg, a slice of bread, or some breadcrumbs, and some milk. You can also, instead of the bread or breadcrumbs, use rolled oats, leftover cooked rice, quinoa, couscous, or really any grain like that other than pasta. I've even heard of people crumbling up crackers or cornflakes into their meatballs. I have used cornflakes in my meatloaf, and it's good. So yes, give these a try. All kind of ways you can stretch your food. You might think, that don't sound right. You try it. You wouldn't think cornflakes in a meatloaf would sound right, but it's good. So give some, like porcupine meatballs. That's rice. You just mix raw minute rice in with the meat, and the rice cooks in the tomato soup mixture. So yeah. For leftovers, think of soups, stews, stir fries, casseroles, quiche or omelet, or some kind of salad. One thing my mom does with leftovers is pan fries it, and we call it hash. Meat, vegetables, potatoes, or with a grain or mashed potatoes on the side. So my mama, I don't know if she used like leftovers, but she made what she called fried soup, and my papa loved it. And it was like, I wish I could do it. I can't do it like her. She'd have her cast iron pan out, and it would be like fried okra, fried green tomatoes, fried squash, fried whatever else in the pan, and they would eat that and call it fried soup. So I don't know. Same thing. Put your leftovers in the pan. There you got it. The peels and things you trim off of vegetables like potatoes, carrots, onions, celery, asparagus, broccoli, cauliflower can be put in a freezer bag and saved until you have enough and used to make broth. Either a vegetable broth or add in the bones from any meat you had, and you've got a delicious broth. I've even frozen the bones left from chicken or beef to make the broth another day when I had the time and room to store it. But broth freezes great, but if you know how to can, you can can it. A lot of these girls make homemade bone broth, and they put their scraps, those like carrots and onions and celery, in bags and their carcasses, and they, do all the cooking of it for hours, and then they can it. I have not done that yet. But you don't have to can it. You can absolutely freeze it. The green tops on strawberries are edible, but you can save them in the freezer to add into a smoothie. The peel on kiwi is edible, which I did not know, but can also be frozen to add into a smoothie. Banana peels, chop them up, add to water. Let it sit for 2 to 3 days and strain them out and use the water on your plants. It will help them grow and add nutrients to them. My late grandmother used to take old tea bags or coffee grounds and add them to the soil of her plants to help them. Or she'd even just pour some of her cold tea without anything into the plants. So that's pretty cool. Joan, she makes strawberry syrup with her strawberry tops. When I made my strawberry jam, I was not in the inclination of saving anything. I just wanted to get it done. It probably would have been good. So that's what she does with her strawberry tops. So yeah. I make a pot of coffee, but we never drink it all. I freeze the leftovers in ice cube trays for when I want a frozen coffee. Or I'll just store it in a mason jar in the fridge and make myself a cold coffee another day. Though it does heat up well in the microwave if you want. So I need to freeze coffee in ice cube trays to put in my iced coffees when I go down to Holly's, because most of the times when I go down to the garden, I take a iced coffee with me. Something to sip on the way down. So here we are up to Darlene McCumber, 5264. She says, I remember my mom making apple jelly using the peelings and cores from doing apple pie filling. Now that is frugal. That indeed is frugal. That, I bet it's good too. I bet you I need to remember that come apple season. Pat F4780. These are things she does. I scan receipts for cash back on Bing. I do Bing rewards for free gift cards. I use my grocery store rewards. Always check the clearance and markdown area. Yes. Clip coupons. Do not use Instacart when they up the prices and some charge delivery fees. Huge no for me. I double stack coupons when possible. You can do that at BJ's if you happen to find a coupon. I can never find coupons. They used to have them all the time because I was a coupon queen, one of those people. But not so much. I check prices before I go shopping to get the best bang for the buck. Yes, always check your prices. If you know you absolutely need something, check your prices. Have the apps on your phone and just sit at home with your list and check your prices and see if you're going and getting the lowest cost per unit. Now, if you're going to drive 25 miles to, say, 50 cents, I probably wouldn't do that. If I was going to save on more things, then we'd see if it was worth it. But for like one thing, for just a small amount, I would probably just not worry with it. Because that'd be a lot of gas for 25 minutes there and 25 minutes back. Sharon J. 7234. Whenever I brown ground beef or ground turkey, I take out a half a cup, add to a freezer container. Before you know it, you'll have enough for another meal or pot of soup. I save my butter wrappers to grease casserole dish or a baking sheet pan. I love this scooping out a half a cup because I freeze mine either cooked with onions so it's less meat per serving per meal, or like this last time, I didn't cook it. I didn't feel like cooking it. I had a lot of it, so I just froze it, but I froze it in 3/4 pound bags instead of pound bags. And we don't even know this is a difference. We just don't. So I'm telling you right now, you would not notice a half a cup of ground beef going missing. That is an idea right there. Carol Johnson 5087. My tip is when I buy fresh peppers and don't always use them all, I clean them and put in Ziploc bags and freeze. No waste. Yes, that's something I need to get better at, because I will leave a little tail end of a pepper that I chopped up in the fridge drawer thinking I'm going to use it, and I don't. Or I'll cut it in strips thinking I'm going to eat those strips, and I don't. So this is a habit I need to get into. John Hawkins 8552. When you're preparing your fresh veggies, save all your scraps. Put them in a large bag to have room for more. Stick it in the freezer. When it is full, put them in a big pot and add water. Boil for about 45 minutes to an hour. Strain the now vegetable stock into a bowl. Let cool and put in jars or whatever container that is freezer safe. Ta-da! Almost free vegetable stock. Yes, that is a good tip. MJ King, she was talking along those same lines. So that's what I was saying. If we have something overlapping, everybody's going to get their credit. I honestly would not have thought to boil it for 45 minutes to an hour. I wouldn't have thought of that. So that's a good tip for me. Bonnie Wynn 6301. I shop at Food Line and buy half-price meats and mostly all sale items, which I can incorporate into meals that week. Just an easy thing to do. Yes, that is an easy thing to do. If you make your menu by what's on sale, like I told David, we're not having a roast until it goes on sale. We might want a roast, but roasts are expensive. When they go on sale, we'll have a roast. Until then, we're eating hamburger and chicken, which is what we've been eating for weeks now because nothing is going on sale. And we don't eat pork. Pork is always marked down. Always. You can fill a freezer of marked down pork and sale pork. But since David doesn't eat it because of his gout, I never fix it. Every now and then he'll want a piece of bacon. Like this week he wants some bacon for his sandwiches to make a club sandwich, which reminds me I need to get the bacon out to thaw. But that's very rare for him. So yeah, that is that's a very easy thing to do. Just make your menu and eat according to the sales. Sunray 1531. My daughter's family and us buy the big stuff at Costco and split it. So we both get cheaper price, but don't have more than we can use. Example, the big bags of Baby Bell. I think I might have mentioned Baby Bell on that video. I told Holly we need to do this. If there's things that we both use, we need to go in on them and split them. Because then we both get the cheap price, but we don't have, like she says, more than you can use. Because if you get more than you can use and it goes bad, then it wasn't a deal. Okay, here's a big name. User TM5QD70V1J. I always look for marked down meat, buy extra when on sale. We use leftover meat to put on salads the next day or so. I keep our bread in the refrigerator as we don't eat it fast enough and it usually molds. If fruit is getting too ripe, I'll freeze and use it in smoothie, or I'll cook and make a compote. Veggies that are getting close to too old, I'll roast or air fry them. I never thought about when your veggies are getting close to being done to roast them or air fry them. I don't know why that's never crossed my mind. And it's never crossed my mind to make a compote. So, and you know I always look for marked down meats. Although right now, I had to go to Food Line today and just get garlic, just garlic, because Walmart gave me terrible garlic. I didn't even go back there and look to see if there was anything marked down because I don't have any room in the freezer. We just bought a new freezer and we're going to go pick it up Saturday. And I told David, I said, if I found some marked down meat, I got nowhere to put it. So I definitely got nowhere to put garden produce. So, but I always look for the marked down stuff. And let me tell you, don't be afraid of marked down stuff, because you know what? You might have bought it right then and he come right behind you. So you looked at it and you were going to buy it right then he come right behind you and put a sticker on it, and you come back and you see it, or somebody else comes back and see it. It was fresh 2 seconds ago. He slaps a sticker on it and now it's day old. It's the same age. You're just getting a better deal. So don't just look at your dates. That's all you got to do. Look at your dates. Let's see. Derm Girl 63. Challenge yourself. Set yourself apart and learn a new skill. I struggled. It was not pretty. To learn how to make homemade pizza dough, pie crust, homemade biscuits, bone broth, homemade marinara, etc. Oh my goodness, trying to learn to cook rice from scratch on the stovetop was a major accomplishment for me. Before I even finished reading yours, me and Holly was talking about this in the car. I went down there yesterday, and we were talking about that. She says, I don't even try to make rice on the stove anymore. I said, oh my gosh, me either. She said, I can't do it. I said, I can't either. They say it's easy. Do this. It's fail-proof. No, it ain't. Not for me. Apparently not for Holly. So that is a major accomplishment. She says, I wasted a lot of food that was not edible. Girl, been there. But I learned, and in the long run, the skills I gained have saved lots of money. She said, I shared that I purchased a tortilla press, and she wants to learn this skill as well. And she's learning to make sourdough. So if anybody has any pointers, please share. Well, on that video, nobody shared pointers, so they may not have gone through and read the comments. So I'm going to tell you now, if you have sourdough pointers, put them in the comment section of this video so she can get them from here. I don't have any pointers because I don't do sourdough. Okay, then this is also her. When ground beef is on sale, buy extra to make meatballs and bake on a baking sheet. When cool, put in freezer bags. They will be ready for meatball subs, spaghetti meatballs, Swedish meatballs, chop up, put on a homemade pizza. That's a good idea. Instead of just having hamburger in there, have meatballs, and then you're halfway done for your meal. That's a great meal prep idea right there. And then Carol Phillips 4521 says, use a silicone scraper to wipe out bowls and pots and pans. You know why? Because that gets you the last little bit of whatever it is you're cooking. And that is the epitome of being frugal, is getting the last drop. Why do we scrape our cans out? Because we want all of it, you know? I think I heard somebody say, I paid for it, I want it. Makes sense to me. All right, well, that's all I'm going to do today. I think that'll be enough for one video. I don't want to make this too long. Let me see. Okay, 21 minutes. I don't normally look up there when I talk, but since this was a special video, I'll look. So 21 minutes is good. I think that's good. Okay, well, I appreciate all your tips that are helping me make this video. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And I will see you. I'll see you when I see you.